Hey everybody, welcome back to this series where we are talking about our top 3 board games for every single letter of the alphabet.
And this time it is the N.
Yeah, the N's today. I'm looking forward to this one. All right, which one of us is going to go first?
You.
Me. Okay. My number 3 is a very simple game, but it's one we've been playing a lot lately. It is called No Thanks.
No, thanks.
Yes, please. No thanks. All right. No Thanks is one of the easiest card games in the world to play, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically just some cards with numbers on it and some chips. You start with a certain number of chips, and then a card gets flipped over. When it's your turn, you can either say no thanks and put one of the chips on the card to not take it.
Yeah.
Or you can take it.
Which will give you the chips, which are negative points.
Right.
But the number on the card will give you points, which are bad.
Right. So you want the lowest possible. So you have to decide when you want to take the card. If it's too high, you want to let some of those chips build up around a few times.
Or if you need it to make more of a set.
Right. So like if you have a run of numbers, you only score it's the lowest one, correct?
Yes.
You only score the lowest one. So you can do some pretty tricky things where you have a big long line of cards that are all in a run, and you're only going to score points on one of them, and then you take off all your numbers for chips. Yeah, it's real easy.
Yeah, it is.
And but it's a whole heck of a lot of fun. So honestly, yeah, that's my number 3. No thanks.
And my number 3 is No Touch Kraken.
Oh, okay.
Which is a really fun bluffing game.
Yeah, like a social deduction type game. Yeah.
Where so there's one side which is the pirates and another side which is the skeletons. The skeletons want to summon the Kraken, and the pirates want to get the treasure that is in some of the cards. Basically, the pirates want to take the cards that are treasure. The skeletons will want to take the card or to get someone else to take the Kraken, which will give them the points.
Right, so everybody has cards face down in front of them, right? So then you can lie and say you don't have any Krakens in front of you. Or you can, tell the truth and say, yeah, there's one in front of me. So and if you're not trying to summon the Kraken, there's one. Like, be careful where you're picking my cards because, you don't want to summon it.
But you could also bluff about that. Like, if you're a skeleton and you have some treasure, you can say that I have the Kraken. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a super fun game. In America, I know it was released as Don't Mess with Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So I think that's a more popular name for the game. It's the exact same game.
Except,
and also I believe it's called Time Bomb in some parts of the
I think that's
world.
the original too.
Yeah. So it's a game you can find, maybe not under the No Touch Kraken name, but probably under Don't Mess with Cthulhu.
It is really fun though.
Yeah, that's a good time. All right, that was your number 3. Okay, my number 2 is actually number 9.
Ah.
So number 9 is another really simple game. 2 simple games on this list so far, where basically you have a bunch of like really odd shaped like number tiles.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna have 2 of them. And then you flip over a card, and you have to just place that little number token, whatever you call it. Yeah.
And so I think that this is the way it works is that the number that it is the amount of points it will score.
Right, but it has to be...
Except it's on the multiplier. So the bottom layer...
is level 0.
Is 0 times. So that's nothing. The second layer will be 1, and it goes up farther and farther. Right,
so if you can get it like 4 levels high, then if you're getting like a number that's, higher number, you're multiplying by that. By 3 or whatever,
which will give you a lot of points.
Yeah, but like the trick is they're so strangely shaped, and they almost don't seem to fit together properly.
And I'm pretty sure to correctly be placed on it, you can't go over a hole.
Right, correct.
And I think you have to be touching 3 different tiles.
No, just 2. It has to be if you're laying it on top. It has to be touching 2 different tiles.
Yeah.
So you can't like lay the exact same number on top of the same number.
Yeah, because that.
Yeah, so like that's a game that you can play unlimited number of people as long as they have like a copy of the game. Yeah. Flip over cards, place a weird shaped number tile, score it up at the end. Super simple, super fun.
Yeah. So my number 2 is actually No Thanks.
Oh, okay.
There's not really much else I can say about it. It's really simple, and you can always bluff about you can't really bluff that much, but you can always try and hide. Well, you hide your chips.
Yes, true. So no one knows how many chips you have.
Meaning that if someone's wants to try and go around, but you don't have any chips, they might lose that card.
Right. It's funny because if you think somebody's maybe running low on chips, you can force them to take a card that they don't want to take. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really fun game, but there's all sorts of different strategies, I guess. But but it is really fun.
Yeah. It's great.
And simple.
I think it's a classic at this point. So.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, my number one might be the same as yours, and that is Near and Far.
Yeah, it is.
Near
It
and Far.
definitely is.
Well, Near and Far is a great game. It's probably maybe one of my top, 5, 10 games of all time.
Maybe.
So Near and Far, there's a lot going on in Near and Far, but basically you're playing a character.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different campaign modes in the game, and then there's like an arcade mode.
There's a normal campaign and a story.
Well, there's like a story campaign and then a character campaign.
Character
So
campaign.
the story campaign, you're going through this book of maps. So like, I don't know, there's 10 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're sending them out and you're doing adventures, right? And then you have these artifacts or items or whatever they're called, and you're trying to like construct them. So like that's what triggers into the game.
That's
not what triggers into the game.
No,
it's how you get points at the end of the game.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so you're sending your guys out. You're sending your person out to do adventures across this map.
Yeah.
And then there's some really interesting story elements.
Yeah.
That are like there's a big book of stories, and they're all different for each map.
And stories can those stories could cause other stories in the future to have different effects.
Right, because you'll get like maybe if you help someone with something, maybe you'll get a keyword, and then you'll run into like whatever, you'll encounter that again in the future possibly.
Or you can get a side quest, which means your next quest will automatically be a side quest.
Yeah. So there's like a ton of possibilities there as you're going through these maps, and we've played through the main campaign once.
We've played through both.
We've played through the character campaign once, and then we're halfway through a second time going through the main story.
I haven't played the main story before, but I am playing through one now. But I did do the character one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, because there's also a town where you go and you can like gather, like hire more people that help you with the different challenges that you might encounter out in the adventuring area. I don't know, the book where like you're running into different things. Yeah, so I don't know.
All sorts of different areas, and like you got to make the tents, the tents is what ends the game.
Tents, right? You're right. You have a certain amount of tents, and once you put out all of those tents, which generally are like your little encampments that you can you put out into the world, right?
Which will make those spots safe because when you walk spaces, you have the amount of stamina or like hearts you have, which will run out, and if you run out, you automatically go back.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. So that's Near and Far, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. There's more going on in the game than what we described. And a game usually can take a little while to play through, but it's a huge amount of fun, and the story's really cool. The characters are cool. All the kind of thing, all the perks and stuff that you earn as you're playing the campaign are fun. So, yeah, that's my number one, and his number one, Near and Far. Well, that wraps up the ends already.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah, we had 2 crossovers, 2 of the same. So, I don't know. Thanks for watching. We're into the second half of this series now, so hopefully, we're gonna maybe try to get these out on a more regular basis.
Yeah, we've just been doing other stuff lately. But next up is the Oopsie-O's.
Oopsie-O's. I think it's the Outstanding O's. But we'll see when we get to it. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye.